History is fascinating, and you can't begin to design a film until you know about the people and their background. They were kind of unknown to us, but they were also different from the other indigenous tribes.
I'm Jacqueline West, and I was the costume designer of Killers of the Flower Moon.
I'm Jack Fisk. I was the production designer on Killers of the Flower Moon.
And this is how we did it. I got a call asking if I would like to do this project. I was quite excited because I'd never worked with Martin Scorsese before, and I was delighted, and I knew it was Jack.
Also shooting on location, so you don't have all the comforts of a normal film. We were out in the middle of Oklahoma in the Great Prairie there. It's a different way of working. I started with Molly's house. I needed to know what her house was like to understand her family. They're full-blood Osage, you know, 4 daughters, mother and a father, and they lived in a small house in Greyhorse. When I read David Grann's book, he suspected what her house might have looked like, but he said he never found it. I found the house, what I think was the house, on Blackbird Lane in Greyhorse, but it was too small to shoot in. But I picked an Osage house that had outside porches, so could put beds on it for sleeping, and in every bedroom we put 2 or 3 beds, because the Osage would gather for dances and parties, and they would just come and stay with their family and friends.
They told me you was going with Matt Williams for a time.
You talk too much.
Oh, I don't talk too much. Just thinking who I got to beat in this horse race, that's all.
I didn't realize this was a race. I don't care for watching horses.
Well, I'm a different kind of horse.
You talk about the blankets being armor too, you know, kind of protected them.
Julie, my Osage consultant, she calls it the Osage mink coat because they were treasured. But I always thought of it as armor. When Molly would put it on to go into this town, it was us, the Osage, against you in your suits and your ties. And I noticed when Osage men dressed up, they'd put on a suit jacket of the period and using moleskin buckleback pants and cowboy boots. And they had a rather Western look to them, even Henry Roan in the movie. But they keep their own Osage touches to not be a guardian or a banker or one of the bad guys. My whole thing with Leo was a Tom Mix because of the Western. I felt he would identify as a quasi-cowboy because of his uncle having a cattle ranch.
And it was also great how his wardrobe evolved when he married into money. You know, he was getting better coats and better hats.
Jack built this incredible train station that looked like it'd been there 100 years.
It was fun creating a train station because we couldn't find one that looked like that. And that was with the same plans of the train station in Fairfax. We had black and white pictures from the period, and what we were introducing was color.
And I just love that Marty had his casting people cast people who were descendants of those people. A lot of the people wore pieces from their family. They asked if they could. For that train station, there was a panorama picture I found, all of the Osage lined up, ready to go to Washington, D.C., and it was a black and white photo, and they all had blankets. I had to take all the blankets that I had, photograph them in black and white, and see how that color translated to get that same feeling that the black and white photo had.
Marty sort of gave us marching orders. He wanted it as real and natural as possible, and it's true to the Osage story. That was great because I would like to approach it, and I think Jack is, almost like a documentary. So I think it became our personal challenge to tell their story correctly.